It's 1 a.m. on September 2nd, 1666. A bakery on Pudding Lane is on fire. Someone runs to wake up the most powerful man in London, the Lord Mayor himself, to warn him the city is burning. He takes one look out the window, shrugs, and says a sentence that would become one of the most infamous quotes in British history. A woman might piss it out. Then he goes back to bed. By the time he wakes up again, London is gone. Let's back up. London in 1666 is a city built almost entirely out of things that love to burn. Timber houses, thatched roofs, streets so narrow the upper floors of buildings practically touch across the street. Add in a scorching dry summer, and you've basically built a bonfire and called it a capital city. At the center of it all, Thomas Farriner, the king's baker who runs an oven on Pudding Lane. Sometime after midnight, that oven isn't properly put out. A spark catches, and within minutes, Farriner's house is ablaze. His family barely escapes, climbing out an upstairs window onto a neighbor's roof. Tragically, his maid doesn't make it. She becomes one of the fire's first victims. The fire brigade of the time, really just neighbors with leather buckets and hand pumps, rushes in. But it's too little. The wind is picking up, and embers are already jumping from roof to roof. Now, here's where our sleepy villain enters. Sir Thomas Bloodworth, Lord Mayor of London. Woken in the dead of night and told the city is on fire, Bloodworth stumbles to a window, glances at the flames a few streets away, and decides this is not his problem. He's tired. It's late. Surely it'll burn itself out. This one decision, this one nap, turns out to be catastrophic. See, in 1666, only the Lord Mayor has the legal authority to order the demolition of houses to create fire breaks. That's the one tool that could have stopped the fire in its tracks, and the one man with the power to use it decides sleep is more important. By the time Bloodworth reappears the next morning, it's already too late. The fire has a life of its own. It's leapt Pudding Lane, swallowed nearby streets, and is now feeding on warehouses packed with oil, tallow, and spirits down by the Thames. Diarist Samuel Pepys, who actually witnesses the fire firsthand, later writes about seeing pigeons too stubborn to leave their nests sitting on windowsills until their wings catch fire. It's that kind of fire, fast, merciless, and utterly indifferent to London's usual rules. Over the next 3 days, the fire tears through the heart of London like nothing the city has ever seen. It destroys roughly 13,000 houses, nearly 90 churches. St. Paul's Cathedral, the old medieval one, melts, its stones literally exploding from the heat, its lead roof running down the streets like water. Tens of thousands of people flee with whatever they can carry, camping out in open fields outside the city, watching their homes disappear on the horizon. King Charles II, to his credit, finally takes charge where Bloodworth failed. He personally helps organize firefighting efforts and authorizes the one thing that should have happened on day one, blowing up buildings with gunpowder to create fire breaks and finally starve the flames. By September 6th, 4 days after that fateful nap, the fire is finally out. And here's the strange twist. Officially, only 6 deaths are recorded. Historians now think the real number is almost certainly much higher, since the fire burned hot enough to cremate bodies without a trace, especially among London's poorest residents, who were the least likely to be counted at all. London doesn't just rebuild, it transforms. Architect Christopher Wren gets his chance to redesign huge parts of the city, including a brand new St. Paul's Cathedral. The domed one you can still visit today. New building codes require brick and stone instead of timber. Streets get widened, and a city that had been a medieval fire trap for centuries slowly becomes something closer to the London we'd recognize now. As for Sir Thomas Bloodworth, he never really lived down that night. History remembers him less as a mayor and more as a punchline, the man who looked disaster in the face and chose sleep instead. So the next time you hit snooze on something that feels urgent, just remember, Sir Thomas Bloodworth. Sometimes I'll deal with it in the morning, burns down an entire city. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe for more history that sounds too wild to be true, but somehow always is.